We have earnings coming up. Is there a way to play Costco? Obviously, that's the big name on the move. That thing has been moving to the upside. Are you jumping in and buying this stock right now, or are you trading this differently?
It is showing a lot of strength. And if you've just looked at Costco in the last week or so, you'll see this gap higher, this tremendous gap up higher to all-time highs. And, if I'm looking at this to initiate a position, buying Costco right here, I'm a little squeamish. I'm looking at this chart, and it's just racing higher. It's like the reverse of catching a falling knife, or just continuing to buy this thing on the way up. It makes sense for a pullback. And really, I put the relative strength index here on the bottom, this chart, underneath the chart, underneath the volume here, there's this relative strength index, and you can see when it gets a little overbought, it gets red here in this relative strength index, and that sometimes can be a sign that it's a little frothy, a little top heavy. So that's right where we're getting to now. So that that might lead me to think, hey, this has come too far too fast. But if you go back in history, there have been other times where we've seen this relative strength index a little overbought, and really it's done quite well in those periods. If you know anything about Costco's chart, you'll know that the long-term pattern is fantastic. And you can see here we had this overbought situation, but wow, did Costco really accelerate through that. They just kept on buying it, even though the relative strength index was showing overbought. And that's because this is how it looks all the time. It's just this parabolic upward move. Now, what reminds me of the last time we had this relative strength index overbought, where we saw that nice run, was it again made a new all-time high after a steep pullback. So we had that recovery here, made this new all-time high. We got overbought, but we continued to run. That looks similar to me like we're seeing right now. So yes, it is very risky to jump in here buying Costco at $625, considering it was just recently $550. Yes, but initiating a new position, Brian, we own Costco for our clients, so we're really happy about this move. But initiating a new position, I think for myself, it's better to do so with options. I would just look at another stock replacement strategy. I will be buying the December quarterly 625, 650 call spread for 860, like a 1.25% risk of the total premium of Costco. We know earnings can be volatile. We know earnings they can move 4 or 5%. Costco typically has earnings moves that are smaller than that. But we know that on a miss or a guidance that's poorly, we know there can be a downgrade. So I'm risking less potentially on the stock and still going to capture this upside, still going to play to the upside if we do continue on this strength that it's just been showing tremendous bull run lately.
Yeah, and I like the trade, like we mentioned, in these stock replacement kind of strategies when options are cheap or the stock has made a significant run. So you kind of are in a place where it's like, oh, should I jump in and buy this stock and ride the wave higher? If I do, am I going to be caught, off sides? And then it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news after earnings. So instead here, Joe is using a call spread to sort of risk less, but still get more upside should the stock continue to run. So I really like that trade in that sense. And break even 633.60. That's where you'd want to see the stock get above that level to break through the break even on the call spread. Below there, you'd lose money, but your only loss total if the stock were to go down is at $8.60.
Yeah, and again, this is what we're looking at. The implied market maker moves 2.5%. That's not very expensive volatility when I'm looking at these earnings. If I were looking at this and it was showing really expensive volatility, I'd flip it around. I'd want to sell a put. I'd be looking at collecting premiums, making money on volatility coming down, and maybe also being prepared to buy the stock should it go lower.